in the Making, a podcast where we look at the evolution of media from 1600 all the way to present day. In this podcast series, we ask, how have different forms of media evolved and changed culture? Media in the Making, where media and culture are always changing. Now let's take a step back in time.
Apollo 11, this is the Launch Operations Manager. The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed. Thank you very much. No, it'll be a good one.
Apollo 11 was a global media sensation. Our first man on the moon was dated July 20th, 1969, where we proved the world that anything is possible. Hello, this is Pauline Jordan, a sophomore from ETA. Today I will be explaining how has the media changed during or after Apollo 11. Before we start, let's go back where it all started. During World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union fought together as allies against the Axis power. Then in 1947, the Cold War started. This war is any like war you expected. This is more like who has the most spear and power, by showing off their military, resources, money, and many more. For example, in 1949, the Soviets tested an atomic bomb of their own. Our President Truman announced that the United States will build an even more destructive atomic weapon, bigger than the Russia. Then it all came to space. On October 4th, 1957, the Soviets launched the world's first artificial satellite and the first man-made object to be placed into the Earth's orbit. The launch came as a surprise, but not a pleasant to most Americans. Space was seen as the next frontier for Americans, a tradition to explore to space. Americans tried their best in putting effort to send something unique, but unfortunately Soviets were one step ahead, launching the first man into space. Until 1961, President John F. Kennedy made a bold public claim that the U.S. would land a man on the moon, which becomes the Apollo 11 mission.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait, if this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything. It is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body and then return it safely to Earth. But why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
In conclusion, the space race has begun. Since we have talked about how Apollo 11 was born, now we need to focus on their technology. The first TV satellite was invented on July 23, 1962. An Apollo 11 mission was on July 1969. That's 7 years difference. Look how technology has evolved during the years. The moon landing has offered a visual architecture of the modern spectacle. This means technology has developed during Apollo 11. It has made everyday life easier and safer. NASA has invented technologies that we in the present still use today. For example, wireless headsets, cordless tools, swipe cards, and memory foam hospital beds were all made by NASA. The moon landing also influenced the recreate of the scene of documentary feature films, which means the landing has made a part of larger stories about science, fantasy, good, and evil. This is a huge moment in U.S. and world history. It became a cause for national celebration. The achievement managed to distract the world from the Vietnam War, as well as the space race. It also had a cultural impact. It is a reminder of possibilities.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Media in the Making, teaching you about the evolution of media throughout history and its effects on culture. For more from the students, more podcasting series are on the 91.5 website.